nothing can be, no incarnation can also be exactly equal to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. And there are little variations, although all direct expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are non-different from each other. At the same time, we have read how there are 6 types of incarnations, and many are direct and others are like indirect, vibhutis and Siktavesh avatars. And where we left off yesterday was Virat Rupa. It is for neophytes and beginners of spiritual life who are not into the intricacies of spiritual life, like getting association of devotees or following rules and regulations or taking up the principles of devotional service, like chanting the Mahamantra, worshipping the deity. For such people, that there is God, and this universe is the Virat Rupa of the Lord. So it is imaginary concept and doesn't count under the incarnations of the Lord. And as you are doing your Bhakti Shastri and now the Bhakti Vaibhava, there are these general guidelines. Whenever you read this subject, how it is helping you in your knowledge and skills, how you are getting thorough in your understanding of the philosophy of Krishna consciousness and skills. So your skills, how they can be, not everybody has all the skills. And not everybody is into, we all have different skills. So how we can be, there is nothing, because I'm not a preacher, I'm not Sanskrit scholar. No, everybody has their unique position in Krishna consciousness. Everybody has, we are all meant to serve the Lord. And there is once you come to spiritual life, there is no distinction between giving a class or doing a kirtan or working in the kitchen or you're doing some cleanliness service. They're all transcendental because they're all directly a service to the Lord under the direction of Prabhupada and his representatives. Is that right? Is that right? No? So no service is like big or small. They're all transcendental. They're all equally. Prabhupada says that instead of being a egoistic speaker or a proud scholar, it is better that a humble person doing some, cleaning the floor or utensils, he may be considered a better devotee. So unless the mood, so it is said, like your knowledge and skills, your mood and mission. What is our Prabhupada's mood? How we all should share that mood and mission. We all have a mission. Personally benefiting and making advancement. You are all able to hear me? All right? Are you able to hear me all right? Say Haribol.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes,
Okay.
Maharaj, Hare Krishna.
So, mood and mission. Now, whenever you're reading Bhagavatam, we should imbibe that devotional mood. It is not like a professional reciter or we're only good in giving classes, but no practical devotional service or not following rules and regulations. Not possible. No? One cannot become a devotee. Krishna reserves the right whom to give the intelligence to understand him. So, mood and mission. And then lastly, personal and preaching application. Is that right? Personal application. As we read Bhagavatam, is it making difference? Like yesterday, I was giving the example, we read Bhagavad Gita slokas, but we eat meat. That's not the application. And the application is not there. So, and preaching application. How we want to take this knowledge of Bhagavatam. You may have to teach people the knowledge to different degrees, as they can understand, as they can digest it. Not that everyone will pick it up immediately. So you have to go person to person. It is Krishna consciousness is a personal philosophy. We have to deal. God is a person, devotees are persons, and we have to deal with each devotee as a special person to serve the Lord. So, respect to what is happening here? Very good. Class is going. Close this door. Close this door. Get here. Get here. Sorry. Today, some guests have come here. I told them, don't disturb me from 5:30 to 7:30. No, there is a disturbance like this. It's a personal application and preaching application. So for that, we need to read Prabhupada's life carefully, and we need to associate with senior Vaishnavas and our own spiritual master whenever possible, in a reverential, in a learning mode. We should not take things for granted. Yeah. So this is the yeah, don't come here. Close this door. And the main thing is the support. Close this door strongly. Pull it. Right. Thank you. So today will be Hare Krishna. So today, yesterday after hearing about the Lord and his incarnations and the various incarnations.
Prabhu, I got one question. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Okay, yesterday the subject text 24, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was explaining the Maulana Chand Kasi Sahida, Maulana Chand discussing on the animal slaughtering, animal killings. Is that the Maulana Chand Kasi Sahib was agreed or is still not agreed? Is agreed Chaitanya?
There is no question of when the Supreme Lord personally wants to bless somebody. So that time was Mohammedan rule, and where Mahaprabhu was actively propagating the Sankirtan movement, the administration was Mohammedan administration, and there was objection to begin with, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he led non-cooperation activity like that. Means they all moved, all the devotees together. They approached this Chandkaji, and then Chandkaji, although he is the head of the state, he became afraid of so many devotees, and because they were all devotees, it was so powerful, the vibrations. Chandkaji comes down to meet Mahaprabhu. And then Mahaprabhu discusses how the cow is the mother, and how the bull is our father. It works in the field, and the cow gives milk like mother. And how can one kill the cow?
Okay.
And then he also, because Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord, he quotes their own scripture, Quran, certain sections.
Okay.
Because generally people don't read them so scrutinizingly.
Okay.
So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he exactly goes to this certain teachings in the Quran.
Okay.
And it shows that how cow is revered even according to Quranic texts, Okay. So if if Mahaprabhu is sitting with somebody, there is no question of transformation.
Okay.
The Lord can bless anyone he likes. So Chandkaji was delivered. People who have come to India on Navadvip Mandal Parikram, there is a place called the Samadhi, Chandkaji Samadhi, where there is a Champaka tree. And then that's on the Samadhi of Chandkaji. So that means Chandkaji declared, myself or my descendants, they will not object to this chanting. And then he agreed that cow is a sacred mother. Chandkaji, although he may not have become a regular Vaishnava, but he became very favorable, and he did not come in the way of Mahaprabhu's movement any further. All facilities were provided in his state. So, is that all right? Is that, did that answer your question?
Yes, Prabhu, but finally he never became a devotee, because Mahaprabhu he became a devotee.
He accepted Krishna, he chanted Hare Krishna.
Oh, so beautiful,
And,
Prabhu.
He, as the head of the place, he allowed Sankirtan to go on. But it's not exactly that he gave up his Mohammedan dress. He became like Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami.
Oh, okay. Oh, Haribol.
That's not necessary for us.
Okay.
Mahaprabhu, he achieved what he wanted. That cow cannot be killed. Animal slaughter is not a part of genuine religion. Any genuine religion, they should not be killing animals. That is the purpose of Buddha's incarnation, to stop animal killing.
Okay. Thanks, Maharaj. Yes.
So now we move on to the last 14 slokas, 31 to 44. So 31. Now here, I was just reading all these. Mostly, Prabhupada is trying to say what is the nature of transcendence, what it means to be transcendental person. And the soul is also transcendental person. The difference is that the soul is part of Lord Krishna. So we are small, he is big. is the creator and we are his subordinate. That means there's a complete difference. Although the soul is eternal, the Lord is eternal, but we are dependent eternals and we are minute eternals, whereas Lord is, you can use the word finite and infinite. The Lord is infinite in his potencies, and the jivas are finite in their potencies. And the common thing is we are all eternal. There is no death or birth to the soul as it is to the Lord. So Prabhupada gives the analogy of sun and sunshine. When the sun is there, the sunshine is there. There cannot be sun without sunshine. That means simultaneously, we are there, the Lord is there, but sunshine is an emanation from the Lord. Right? Sunshine is an emanation from the Lord, so, but simultaneously exists. So it is the correct analogy. How the living entities are eternal, the Lord is eternal. With the understanding that the sunshine emanates from the Lord. And the sunshine, they are all very minute particles. That is the difference. So now, this transcendental personality, so there is what is called illusory personality or material personality. The difference between our body and the Lord's body. We change our bodies are material, they are illusory bodies, and if we identify with the bodies, we keep on changing bodies from one set of actions, one body, from that set. So we should not, that's why you cannot imagine the form of the Lord. Only by devotional service you can realize yourself and the form of the Lord. You can realize by the blessings of the Lord, not otherwise. That's why most of the world, they don't accept. They think Krishna is some great person, Krishna is some Hindu idol and like that. But God is one for everybody, because they are trying to speculate. Prabhupada writes, the sense gratifiers and speculators, they can never understand God, no matter how important they are in the society, no matter how they are learned in the eyes of the public, like Radha Krishnan, Sarvepal Radha Krishnan, and many Mayavadis, they're well recognized. Most of the spiritual people in India, they come under the category of impersonalist because they have not come to bona fide Guru Parampara and they are not practicing Bhakti. So they only accept Krishna as some very great person or is one of the forms of the God and like that. That's why this chapter, Krishna is the source of all incarnation. So now the further slokas we are going to read. Prabhupada very minutely, he goes into details, which will be, with our devotional mood, we try to, the idea of Prabhupada writing again and again is to make us clearly comprehend what it means to be a devotee, what it means to know Krishna. So let us start here. The 31st, there are two important slokas will come. That is 40 and 43. We'll spend extra time there. And today we'll move from one text after the other. So 31.
Can I read, Prabhu Maharaj?
Yeah.
Okay. Translation, text 31. Translation: the cloud and dust are carried by the hair, but less intelligent person says that the sky is cloudy and the hair is dirty. Similarly, they also implant material bodily conceptions on the spirit self.
Yeah, beautiful
It
statement.
further, it is further confirmed here in that with our material eye and senses, we cannot see the Lord, who is all spirit. We cannot even detect the spiritual spark which exists within the material body of the living being. We look to the outward covering of the body or subtle mind of living being, but we cannot see the spiritual spark within the body. So we have to accept the living being presence by the presence of his gross body. Similarly, those who want to see the Lord with their present material eye or with the material senses are advised to meditate on the gigantic external features called the Virat Rupa. For the instance, when a particular gentleman goes in his car, which can be seen very easily, we identify the car with the man within the car. When the president goes out in his particular car, we say there is the president. For the time being, we identify the car with the presidents. Similarly, less intelligent men who want to see God immediately without necessary qualification are shown first the gigantic material cosmos as the form of the Lord, although the Lord is within and without. The cloud in the sky and the blue of the sky are better appreciated in these connections. Although the bluish tint of the sky and the sky itself are different, we conceive of the color of the sky as the blue, but it is a general conception for the layman only.
So here is the beautiful example. Say actually the sky is emptiness. There is no color to the sky. But because our eyes, when we look at this, and you see the blue, so we identify the sky as blue, but actually the blue color and the sky have nothing to do. Similarly, there are clouds and dust. So we say the sky is cloudy or the sky is dusty. Whenever there is dust storm, the sky is very dusty. But actually, there cannot be anything in the sky. Sky is an empty space. But because we cannot see, so we try to uh, appreciate the sky in terms of cloudy sky or dusty sky and like that. But just like Prabhupada gave a very striking example, we identify people with the car. So just like in a crowd, suppose in a crowd of normal people, there is a Swami. So we identify with saffron clothes. Oh, this is the Swami. Yeah. We are, actually, he is the person. But immediately in the crowd, suppose you come to receive me when I visit Malaysia, and then when I get down in the airport, oh, here is the Swami. You are seeing my clothes because in the crowd. So like that, people who don't know the science of Krishna consciousness, for them, the creation is a proof. The creation is a proof that there is a creator. And similarly, Prabhupada applies the thing that the body is a proof. The body is a proof that there is a soul in the body. Because without the soul, the body cannot be there, the body cannot grow. The body cannot show living symptoms. But actually, the body is nothing to do with the soul. Is that right? So it is that means it needs really you have to follow the principles of devotional service, and you have to do sadhana in order to really realize what is this my personality, spiritual personality. So next sloka. Text 32.
Hare Krishna. Can I read, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Beyond this gross conception of form is another, subtle conception of form which is without formal shape and is unseen, unheard, and unmanifest. The living being has his form beyond this subtly, otherwise, he could not have repeated births. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. As a gross cosmic manifestation is conceived as the gigantic body of the Lord, so also there is the conception of his subtle form, which is simply realized without being seen, heard, or manifested. But in fact, all these gross or subtle conception of the body are in relation with the living beings. The living being has a spiritual form beyond this gross material or subtle psychic existence. The gross body and psychic function cease to act as soon as the living being leaves the visible gross body. In fact, we say that the living being has gone away because he is unseen and unheard. Even when the gross body is not acting, when the living being is in a sound sleep, we know that he is within the body by his breathing. So the living beings passing away from the body does not mean that there is no existence of the living soul. It is there, otherwise, how can he repeat his births again and again? The conclusion is that the Lord is eternally existent in his transcendental form, which is neither gross nor subtle like that of the living being. His body is never to be compared to the gross and subtle bodies of the living being. All such conceptions of God's body are imaginary. The living being has his eternal spiritual form, which is conditioned only by his material contamination. Hare Krishna.
So this is the difference between our identity and the Lord's identity. The Lord is a person, we are a person, but right now our spiritual personality, because of our contaminated intelligence, we got into this a material tabernacle, or what is a material body, and this is called conditioning, baddha, conditioned existence. So the difference is we cannot imagine, we cannot conceive, because there is no experience in this world of somebody's body being transcendent. Similarly, we also don't know, most of us don't know that I am a person inside this body. If devotees are able to experience it to some extent, because you are fulfilling the conditions of uh, 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 self-realization. Like we are following the bona fide Guru Parampara. So we are following four regular. That means you are trying to control the mind, you are purifying the body, and now you are able to see that you are an entity within this body. So it is said, if you know yourself, you will understand God. If you understand God, you will know yourself. But both is possible only by practicing devotional service. Otherwise, it always remains big speculation, go on talking, blah, 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 blah will go on. That's what all Hindus are doing. People do their own things, people talk their own things, and there is no, if something is truth, everybody should accept it. If something is not a truth, then everybody can speculate their own things. That's how Hinduism is spoiled to a large extent in Kali Yuga. Only the bona fide Gaudiya Vaishnava movement, ISKCON movement. Now we are here to realize ourselves, and also educate and train others. And that's what we are trying to do. So, gross body and subtle body, they are there for the living entities, but there is no difference between the soul, subtle body, gross body. That's why we sing during Sringarat, Angani Yasha Sakalendriya Vritti Manti, Pashyanti Panti Charayanti Charam Jaganti, Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. It says that Lord's nails can see. Can anybody understand that? Lord can see from the back. Devotees can easily understand because Lord's body is transcendental. Is any part of his body can do any function. Like you can only see with your eyes, but Lord can see with his ears. Because we cannot understand, but as you advance in spiritual life, you can see that the Lord is omnipotent. So it should be clearly in our understanding that Lord's body is not imaginary, Lord's body is not material, and subtle body, which is psychic existence. No, the Lord is completely transcendental. And you can also, although you have a psychic existence and a material body, by practicing devotional service, you can. Why do we worship the body of Srila Prabhupada? The Prabhupada has completely spiritualized his body. In his thoughts, in his activities, in his speech, there was nothing any separate. This is for the Lord. This is for me. He was wholly for the Lord. So that it is possible as we practice devotion service, you can realize that you are not this gross body, but this gross body can be engaged in the service of the Lord. Your intelligence can be engaged in the service of the Lord. And you will not have any more kama, krodha, lobha, mada, moha, matsarya, and these things. And material miseries, and they will not be affecting you any longer. Just because the body is going according to material nature, but I should engage whatever body I have in the service of the Lord. So devotees have no complaint. I am such a good devotee of God. Why did why did accident happen to me? No, whatever the Lord wants. If the Lord wants that you don't serve me so energetic and in such a big way, you just sit down. You have to sit down and chant Hare Krishna. No complaints. Next.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Maharaj. When Supreme Lord takes a birth as a human incarnation, that time is the body can be touched, or it's like Lord Krishna when he comes as a human
You
here in
cannot see.
birth,
If
incarnation.
there is a funny story, a real story. Suppose Krishna is here, and a devotee can see him, non-devotees cannot see him. That kind of many real life stories are there. One boy, uh, uh, he learned from his teacher by practicing bhakti, Krishna will give you darshan. See, the boy took it seriously and he got darshan of Govinda, Gopal. And then he got a little, Gopal gave him, he's a poor boy. The Gopal gave him a little glass with milk. When some festival was celebrated, the teacher told everybody to bring something from their homes for celebrations. And he has nothing, so he asked Gopal, and Gopal had to appear as his friend, and he gave him the glass. And everybody was bringing 10 liters, 50 liters, and like that. This boy, poor boy, which Gopal gave him the glass, then Gopal gave me this, Gopal gave me this glass. And then I said, who is this Gopal and glass? The teacher was not taking the small quantity seriously. And then it hit the glass. The teacher's hand hit the glass, and the glass fell off, and all milk was on the floor. And the boy picked up the glass, and the glass was again full of milk. And then, wow, this is he's talking about God Krishna gave me the glass of this milk. And then however he's trying to empty it is getting full. The festival was a big celebration. And then the teacher asked, can you show me who gave you this? And yeah, I can. Then he went to the forest where he found Gopal by calling out. He said, Gopal, please come. My teacher came here. And the Gopal came. You see see the Gopal here. And the boy was seeing, but the teacher was not seeing. Because the teacher has not anointed his eyes with that love of devotion. he has not anointed, he has not practiced bhakti. So it is quite possible, no? So yeah, that's how in this world people see Krishna, and most of the people don't see. Devotees, they see. Now they say about Annamacharya, he has sung about 30,000 songs, including Tyagaraja, and all ideas, all devotional and extempore, they were composing. And because they were seeing Krishna, and Krishna is giving them the intelligence, and they were glorifying the attributes, the pastimes, and the beauty of Krishna in such beautiful songs. So, only by devotional service. It is said, what is that? Premanjanasrita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hrudayeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achintya gunaswarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So, repeatedly, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam is the cream of Vedic literature, devotion. So don't try to see God act in such a way that if the Lord is pleased, He will reveal Himself. It's not by your efforts, but you have to follow the process given in Bhagavad Gita by the bona fide teachers, the great devotees of the Lord. Next.
Thank you, Maharaj.
$34.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, can I read?
Yeah.
Whenever a person experiences by self-realization that both gross and subtle bodies have nothing to do with the pure self, at that time he sees himself as well as the Lord. Purport. The difference between self-realization and material illusion is to know that the temporary or illusory imposition of material energy in the shape of gross and subtle bodies are superficial coverings of the self. The covering take place due to ignorance. Such coverings are never effective in the presence of this personality of Godhead. Knowing this convincingly is called liberation or seeing the absolute. This means that that perfect self-realization is made possible by adoption of godly or spiritual life. Self-realization means becoming indifferent to the needs of the gross and subtle bodies and becoming serious about the activities of the self. The impetus for activities is generated from the self, but such activities become illusory due to ignorance of the real position of the self. By ignorance, self interest is calculated in terms of the gross and subtle bodies, and therefore a whole set of activities is spoiled, life after life. When, however, one meets the self by proper culture, the activities of the self begins. Therefore, a man who is engaged in the activities of the self is called Jivan Mukta, or a liberated person even in the conditional existence. This perfect
Yeah.
stage of
Excellent. So here, a liberated person or an ordinary person, the activities are the same. We do activities, but if you are educated and trained, you are doing activities in Krishna consciousness. So, doing it for like cooking. If you know that God can eat, that you can serve the God by your cooking ability. So while cooking, you want to cook it for Krishna and offer it to Krishna. Later, you want to only take his remnants. So same activities, if you are in ignorance, you can never understand, and then same activities, when you are educated and trained, they can become spiritual active. So Prabhupada is saying people are all working. People are all working because they are working on, for sense gratification or on a bodily platform, and it is waste of their life. Simply they are doing another set of activities to get into another body. So Prabhupada is using the word here, Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukta means if you know how to utilize your gross body and subtle body. The subtle body is engaged in chanting and hearing. The gross body is engaged by offering obeisances or doing devotional activities like maintaining a temple or serving the Lord in many ways. You can be a Jivan Mukta. So it means it's a question of clicking the understanding, which will be possible by getting in contact with a devotee of the Lord. Next paragraph.
This perfect stage of self-realization is attained not by artificial means, but under the lotus feet of the Lord, who is always transcendental. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that He is present in everyone's heart, and from Him only all knowledge, remembrance, or forgetfulness take place. When the living being desires to be an enjoyer of the material energy, illusory phenomena, the Lord covers the living being in the mystery of forgetfulness. And thus the living being misinterprets the gross body and subtle mind to be his own self. And by culture of transcendental knowledge, when the living being prays to the Lord for deliverance from the clutches of forgetfulness, the Lord, by his causeless mercy, removes the living being's illusory curtain, and thus realizes his own self. He then engages himself in the service of the Lord in his eternal constitutional position, becoming liberated from the conditioned life. All this is executed by the Lord either through his external potency or directly by the internal potency. Hare
So
Krishna.
here the 2 points. So we get a material body when we want to enjoy independent of the Lord. Lord gives us forgetfulness and gives us a gross body, and that subtle body, according to your desires, you have a subtle body, and you try to manipulate matter. And when you pray to the Lord that I want to be out of this miserable material existence, and you want to be back in your constitutional position of joyful life, serving the Lord, and the Lord will begin to give you that. That is one point. And second point here it is said, um, either all this is executed by the Lord, that is through external potency or directly by the internal potency. So we are always controlled by the Lord. Devotees are controlled by the internal potency of the Lord, and non-devotees are controlled by the external potency. You say Durga Devi and Radha Rani, are directly by Krishna or by Krishna's material energy. So most of the people, they know that they will die one day. They know that they cannot take anything from here. But still, why if you ask them, they admit, yeah, I cannot enjoy all this. Then why are you working like this? You cannot take anything with you. But because they are not clear about what to do in life. So if a devotee is kind to merciful to them, they will also come to. And it is also a fact that uh, uh, in the beginning, they don't want to associate with the devotees because they are so passionate, they are in the mode of ignorance. But as they get the association, of the Lord. And as they chant knowingly or unknowingly, as they eat prasadam, just as something that they can, something that to eat, but they are eating prasadam. This creates sukruti for them. That's how they also come under the internal potency of the Lord as they practice the activities of devotional service. Text 34.
Hare Krishna
34.
Maharaj, Dandam Pranams. Text 34. If the illusory energy subsides and the living entity becomes fully enriched with knowledge by the grace of the Lord, then he becomes at once enlightened with self-realization and thus becomes situated in his own glory. Purport. Because the Lord is the absolute transcendence, all of his forms, names, pastimes, attributes, associates, and energies are identical with him. His transcendental energy acts according to his omnipotency. The same energy acts as his external, internal, and marginal energies. And by his omnipotency, he can perform anything and everything through the agency of any of the above energies. He can turn the external energy into internal by his will. Therefore, by his grace, the external energy, which is employed in illusioning those living beings who want to have it, subsides by the will of the Lord in terms of repentance and penance for the conditioned soul. And the very same energy then acts to help the purified living being make progress on the path of self-realization. The example of electrical energy is very appropriate in this connection. The expert electrician can utilize the electrical energy for both heating and cooling by adjustment only. Similarly, the external energy, which now bewilders the living being into continuation of birth and death, is turned into internal potency by the will of the Lord to lead the living being to eternal life. When a living being is thus graced by the Lord, he is placed in his proper constitutional position to enjoy eternal spiritual life. Thank you, Maharaj.
So it depends on our desire. The moment you desire that I don't want this stereotyped mechanical material life anymore. I want ever fresh spiritual life. You desire that, just desire. And then people come into your life, opportunities come into your life, and as Prabhupada is giving this beautiful example of now with electricity, we have heater. The same electricity, if it goes through one machine, it gives us heater. And the same electricity, if it goes into the cooler, it gives us, that means energy is the same. So similarly, the Lord's energies, if you are a devotee, they will help you in your spiritual life. If you want to be a non-devotee, they will put you in ignorance, they will put you in illusion, and you labor hard to find sense gratification, material happiness, and will become disappointed in the end, birth after birth. So it's a question of someone touching your heart, that please, as a human being, you can have pure, eternal, joyful life by practicing bhakti. If you can be convinced how you are a spiritual entity and God is the supreme spiritual entity, you can have a relation with him. And like air is free, water is free in the nature. So similarly, devotional service, it has no conditions, only simply anybody, no restriction of age, education, racial background. Simply, if a devotee is willing to bless you and educate you. And then you have to just simply sit and hear. And then you apply it, you practice. And then you come under the internal energy of Lord, just because you have become favorable to practice the devotional service. So it's a beautiful example, electrical energy, that in this world, devotees can escape illusion and material reactions by practicing devotional service. Others who don't, by their own activities, they become entangled and bewildered in material life. So that means devotional service is so powerful. Like Prabhupada has mentioned here, there is no distinction between Lord, His name, His deity, His prasadam. Anything that is a touch of Krishna in it, immediately, that can help you. So that is simple. Just you accept the truth that you have an eternal relationship with Krishna, and you can see everything in that. And our life changes. 35.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my obeisances. Translation. Thus, learned men describe the births and activities of the unborn and inactive, which is undiscoverable even in the Vedic literatures. He is the Lord of the heart. Purport. Both the Lord and the living entities are essentially all spiritual. Therefore, both of them are eternal, and neither of them has birth and death. The difference is that the so called births and disappearances of the Lord are unlike those of the living beings. The living beings who take birth and then again accept death are bound by the laws of material nature. But the so called appearance and disappearance of the Lord are not actions of material nature, but are demonstrations of the internal potency of the Lord. They are described by the great sages for the purpose of self realization. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita by the Lord that his so called birth in the material world and his activities are all transcendental. And simply by meditation on such activities, one can attain realization of Brahman and thus become liberated from material bondage. In the Shrutis, it is said that the birthless appears to take birth. The Supreme has nothing to do, but because he is omnipotent, everything is performed by him naturally, as if done automatically. As a matter of fact, the appearance and disappearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his different activities are all confidential, even to the Vedic literatures. Yet, they are displayed by the Lord to bestow mercy upon the conditioned souls. We should always take advantage of the narrations of the activities of the Lord, which are meditations on Brahman in the most convenient and palatable form. Hare Krishna.
So it has come 2 times in this purport that Vedic literatures themselves, they don't have an idea of the Supreme Lord. Because it is the people who have to realize. The information is there, but it is the person who will lead you to realize him, or it is the person who has to realize it. So you cannot find Krishna by reading Vedic literature, but a self-realized soul, he can guide you because he has realized the truth, how to apply the Vedic knowledge. Just by reading the book, you will not come to the conclusion that Krishna is a transcendental person. A realized soul has to reveal the information to you. And also, here it is also said about the, because the Lord has come and the information is all recorded, whether it is Ramayana or Mahabharata or Bhagavatam, and by reading them about the glories and pastimes and activities of the Lord, by reading them, you are becoming purified. and you become a devotee of the Lord. So that's why the Lord leaves his history behind. Because the Lord is always not present here. But through Bhagavatam, by reading Bhagavatam, which is all description of the Lord and his incarnations and his devotees and his instructions, people can perfectly, they can come to the state of self-realization. You can also realize how you are an eternal servant of the Lord. 36.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Translation purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Lord, whose activities are always spotless, is the master of the six senses and is fully omnipotent with six opulences. He creates the manifested universes, maintains them and highlights them without being in the least affected. He is within every living being and he always independent. The prime difference between the Lord and the living entities is that the Lord is the creator and the living entities are the created. Here, he is called the Amogalila, which indicates there is nothing lamentable in his creation. Those who creates disturbance in his creation themselves disturbed. He is transcendental to all material afflictions because he is full with all six opulences, namely wealth, power, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. And thus, he is the master of all senses. He creates these manifested universes in order to reclaim the living beings who are within them, suffering threefold miseries, maintains them, and in due course annihilates them without being the least affected by such actions. He is connected with this material creation very superficially, as one smells odor without being connected with the odorous article. Non-godly elements therefore can never approach him despite all endeavors. Hare Krishna.
So this is the omnipotency of the Lord. It's unimaginable. We cannot, as devotees, we are talking to some degree, but otherwise, karmis, Prabhupada is explaining so much, so we are able to have some idea, and also as we are practicing devotional service. But otherwise, such things were said about the Lord. The Lord is always spotless. It means there cannot be any mistake, forgetfulness, mistake, these things. So whatever he does, then is the master of the senses. That we all try to enjoy this world, but the Lord comes into this world just to deliver if he is on the side of the Pandavas, or if he is participating in the Rasa Leela, it's not that Lord is trying to enjoy like us, but to his devotees he is giving the pleasure, not for himself, but devotees are serving so nicely. So he is participating. Is making us participate in the past tense. Then it is all said here, six opulences, that is the definition of Bhagavan. Bhagavan means one with, when we read these things, it should create full confidence in us that devotee should not worry about resources. As you become a devotee, if you want to serve the Lord, that's how people are amazed how ISKCON people serve. and build big temples. Where do they get money from and all that? So it depends on a good devotee. If you're a good devotee and your desire, I want to serve the Lord, like this, like that. And, I tell you one small incident. Prabhupada was in London. Prabhupada was in London, and he met a person from Mauritius. From Mauritius, that person came to London, and during Prabhupada's Sankirtan program, this Mauritius man came. Mauritius has Hindu roots, Hindu roots. And Prabhupada, it's easy to propagate Krishna consciousness in the Mauritius country. That was, and then here a person from Mauritius comes, and then he is offering to Prabhupada, I can offer you land in Mauritius. That's Prabhupada's desire. And then the guy all the way came to Mauritius and is offering Prabhupada, I give you this facility. It's a Lord's arrangement. Where the Lord is there as super soul in everybody, as a devotee desires. And then the Lord can make things happen. So, he is within every living entity. He is always independent. No, they are all contradictory. The Lord is inside, outside. Material minds cannot comprehend this kind of description. And that's why repeatedly it is said that only by devotional service you can enter the mystery of the Lord. So here another beautiful analogy Prabhupada is giving. Like I hold a rose in my hand. I hold a rose flower in my hand, and you get this smell. You are not directly in contact. If such a phenomena can be there, and so this analogy Prabhupada is saying the Lord doesn't have it personally, but just by his wish, just by his will, he can make everything happen in this world. So nobody can do anything to the Lord because you cannot contact him that way, unless you practice Bhakti. 37.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, shall I go ahead? Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. The foolish with a poor fund of knowledge cannot know the transcendental nature of the forms, names, and activities of the Lord, who is playing like an actor in a drama. Nor can they express such things, neither in their speculation nor in their words. Purport. No one can properly describe the transcendental nature of the absolute truth. Therefore, it is said that he is beyond the expression of mind and speech. And yet, there are some men with a poor fund of knowledge who desire to understand the absolute truth by imperfect mental speculation and faulty description of his activities. To the layman, his activities, appearance and disappearance, his names, forms, his paraphernalia, his personalities, and all things in relation with him are mysterious. There are two classes of materialists, namely fruity workers and the empiric philosophers. The fruity workers have practically no information of the absolute truth, and the mental speculators, after being frustrated in fruitive activities, turn their faces towards the absolute truth and try to know him by mental speculation. And for all these men, the absolute truth is a mystery, as the jugglery of a magician is a mystery to children. Being deceived by the jugglery of the Supreme Being, the non-devotees, who may be dexterous in the fruity work and mental speculation are always in ignorance. With such limited knowledge, they are unable to penetrate into the mysterious region of transcendence. The mental speculators are a little more progressive than the gross materialists or fruity workers, but because they are also within the grip of illusion, they take it for granted that anything which has form, a name, and activities is but a product of material energy. For them, the Supreme Spirit is formless, nameless, and inactive. And because such mental speculators equalize the transcendental name and form of the Lord with mundane names and form, they are in fact in ignorance. With such a poor fund of knowledge, there is no access to the real nature of the Supreme Being. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord is always in the transcendental position, even when he is within the material world. But ignorant men consider the Lord one of the great personalities of the world, and thus they are misled by the illusory energy. Thank you very much, Maharaj.
So, Prabhupada is saying here, the people in this world are classified into two groups. People who are on mental platform or people who are on sensual platform. People who are on sensual platform, they are called fruity workers. They are simply trying to enjoy, exploit the material nature. And the mental speculators, anyone who is trying to enjoy, you see that you are limited. And you are not getting anything new. It is repetitive. The sense indulgence in this world is simply repetitive. And the repetitive enjoyment, when you are new, it looks like something nice. But the same thing you repeat, you don't get, it reduces. Because out of indulgence, you don't get the same experience. So we become frustrated, we become disappointed or
Mala Beya. Heavy rain.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Heavy rain la, heavy rain. No light. Ayo, light
Ah.
poche. Ah, ah.
No light, Prabhu.
yeah, heavy lah. Inside, inside, உள்ளுக்கு இருக்காளா?
Prabhu, your tilak is glaring, Prabhu, in the darkness. So glaring, Prabhu, your tilak.
Yeah.
Krishna mercy.
I have to wait for a while. Yeah, heavy lighting lah.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, shall we proceed reading the next paragraph till Maharaj Ji comes back? What do you think? One of us can start reading.
No light, no light.
Danya Mataji, do you want to read?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. It is 38. Translation and purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Only those who render unreserved, uninterrupted, favorable service unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna.
Mataji, excuse me, Hare Krishna, Mataji. What text, Mataji?
38.
38, huh? Okay,
Yeah.
Mataji.
Who carries the wheel of the chariot in his hand can know the creator of the universe in his full glory, power, and transcendence. Purport. Only the pure devotees can know the transcendental name, form, and activities of Lord Krishna due to their being completely freed from the reactions of fruity work and mental speculation. The pure devotees have nothing to derive as personal profit from their unalloyed service to the Lord. They render incessant service to the Lord spontaneously without any reservation. Everyone within the creation of the Lord is rendering service to the Lord indirectly and directly. No one is an exception to this law of the Lord. Those who are rendering service indirectly, being forced by the illusory agent of the Lord, are rendering service unto him unfavorably. But those who are rendering service unto him directly under the direction of his beloved agent are rendering service unto him favorably. Such favorable servitors are devotees of the Lord, and by the grace of the Lord, they can enter into the mysterious region of transcendence by the mercy of the Lord. But the mental speculators remain in darkness all the time. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord himself guides the pure devotees towards the path of realization due to their constant engagement in the loving service of the Lord in spontaneous affection. That is the secret of entering into the kingdom of God. Fruitive activities and speculations are no qualification for entering. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, I think there is some power problem here. You hear me now?
Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Yes, Maharaj, we can hear.
Very well.
There was sudden shutdown of power. It
Yes,
has come back
Maharaj.
again. So,
88, Prabhu.
yeah, we are talking about generally people are of two classes. Ordinary people, they're mostly they're fruity workers. That they are in ignorance. They want to enjoy thinking they are this body. And over the time, they learn that these bodily enjoyments are repetitive and not satisfying, and as reactions following sense gratification, then they have become little mature. And Prabhupada says that they are on a better platform, the mental speculators. But because the Lord is not the transcendental nature, it cannot be understood by the on mental platform. The mind is also material, so we cannot have any access to transcendental knowledge. So they remain puzzled and bewildered. And then when they finally, because they are inquisitive, by the blessings of the Lord, when they come in contact with the devotees, and then they start chanting Hare Krishna mantra like that, then they begin to see that there's something more than the gross body and subtle body, the soul, and then they can see that how Krishna can be a transcendental person. So 38.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah.
Only those who render unreserved, uninterrupted, favorable service unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, who carries the wheel of the chariot in his hand, can know the creator of the universe in his full glory, power, and transcendence. Purport: only the pure devotees can know the transcendental name, form, and activities of Lord Krishna due to their being completely freed from the reactions of fruitive work and mental speculation. The pure devotees have nothing to derive as personal profit from their unalloyed service to the Lord. They render incessant service to the Lord spontaneously, without any reservation. Everyone within the creation of the Lord is rendering service to the Lord indirectly or directly. No one is an exception to this law of the Lord. Those who are rendering service indirectly, being forced by the illusory agent of the Lord, are rendering service unto him unfavorably. But those who are rendering service unto him directly under the direction of his beloved agent are rendering service unto him favorably. Such favorable servitors are devotees of the Lord, and by the grace of the Lord, they can enter into the mysterious region of transcendence by the mercy of the Lord. But the mental speculators remain in darkness all the time. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord Himself guides the pure devotees toward the path of realization due to their constant engagement in the loving service of the Lord in spontaneous affection. That is the secret of entering into the kingdom of God. Fruitive activities and speculation are no qualifications for entering. Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Here, whether devotees or non-devotees, since everyone is rendering service to the Lord, the devotees are directly, because they have the blessings, and they could begin devotional service. So they are serving. And others, they are forced by the material energy. And Prabhupada uses the word here, favorably and unfavorably. The teachings of Bhagavad Gita, if you follow them and try to render service, you are serving the Lord in a favorable way. And if you don't follow the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, nevertheless, like Prabhupada gives example elsewhere, that the prison and outside world, it looks like prisoners are controlled by the police department, or they are controlled by the government. Actually, everybody is controlled by the government, because the citizens are voluntarily abiding. It's not that when you say citizens are free, that doesn't mean that they are free to do anything. No. Within the framework of the law, they can exercise that one. That means they are cooperating. This is against the law. This is the within the law. So you can enjoy your life within the laws. That is Varnashram Dharma, you call it. And then you practice directly spiritual life, which is beyond Varnashram Dharma, the activities of Navada Bhakti. So, because people cannot do that. So our way of life is we try to balance. we don't come under the category of pure devotees, or we are not totally convinced. It means slowly, as we develop taste, as we do sadhana strictly, and then slowly we'll understand how to manage our lives in a devotional way. I can give the example if you're working, like Prabhupada is saying here, if you're working, you know that I'm working to serve the Lord. You know, it's difficult, but it should be. Like you work and you make some 1 lakh rupees salary. Are there people, what is necessary for me? My maintenance is like 20,000 rupees a month, 80,000 I should give to the Lord. Nobody thinks like that. But if you really understand God, there are people, they know that I have to work for the Lord and the Lord will take care of me. There are no doubt. People say, I'm there. Sannyasis are there. People say nowadays, the sannyasis have tons of money. After all, we are all working and money is shortage for us. But the sannyasis in ISKCON temples, they have such huge amounts of money because they are trying to serve God. And the Lord is arranging funds. And their material needs are easily fulfilled because they have such intense desires to serve the Lord. These little things, because they're working so hard for the preaching movement or for making arrangements like building temples and like that. So one should develop that faith, which comes gradually. The faith develops into Adho Shraddha, Adho Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, at least I have the experience as a person in renounced order. He just gone from morning to evening, serving the Lord, and you see how people come to help you, how money comes in. Just because you kept in your heart, it's not that you have to go after money or you go after people. You have that inner desire, and then you practice bhakti, and slowly. I give you one small example which recently happened. We wanted to do some expansion work in Nellore. With Padma Priya Mataji has seen the temple. So after that, we added many things. Now recently I got an idea. And then I spoke to some builder. So he said, Swami, we call it, the unit of land here is called Ankanam. They call it in our area, Ankanam. Ankanam construction is 75,000. So I thought, okay, anyway, we have to do construction. And this guy is a good person. I can trust him. And then I can trust him. And then suddenly another person who we know for 20 plus years was a builder in Bangalore. He walked in and I told him that we're about to do this. And then he said, if I can get the chance to serve, I have earned enough in my life. If I get the chance to serve, then I told him I was about to make an agreement with a builder for 75,000 rupees for Ankanam. And he said he made the calculations and I said I will do it for 60,000. Suddenly, from nowhere, I was about to make him the payment. Just devotees get opportunities like that. Not a surprise, So Krishna has saved my money, and you can do your job, comfortably. Suppose I need 50 lakhs, and I was wondering, I only have 40 lakhs. but now the money is saved here and job is done. So this is just by having faith, and practice your day-to-day, get up early in the morning, like you are all grihasthas. You should not think, oh, it is not possible for others. If you are a devotee, you are a devotee grihastha. So, common thing, you also get up in your homes at 4 o'clock, nicely chant your rounds, and then your household work and your job thing. Where there is a will, there is a way. If you really understand Krishna, you go out of the way to make adjustments, how to maintain your bhakti, preserve your bhakti, how to protect your bhakti. Next.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Text 39, translation. Only by making such inquiries in this world can one be successful and perfectly cognizant. For such inquiries invoke transcendental ecstatic love unto the personality of Godhead, who is the proprietor of all the universes and guarantees 100% immunity from the dreadful repetition of birth and death. Purport. The inquiries of the sages headed by Shaunaka are herewith praised by Suta Goswami on the merit of their transcendental nature. As already concluded, only the devotees of the Lord can know him to a considerable extent, and no one else can know him at all. So the devotees are perfectly cognizant of all spiritual knowledge. The personality of Godhead is the last word in absolute truth. Impersonal Brahman and localized Paramatma, Supersoul, are included in the knowledge of the personality of Godhead. So one can know. So one who knows the personality of Godhead can automatically know all about him, his multipotencies and his expansions. So the devotees are congratulated as being all successful. A 100% devotee of the Lord is immune to the dreadful material miseries of repeated birth and death. Hare Krishna.
So here, Suta Goswami is very happy with. So the point is, you don't worry too much about your material necessities. As you have taken birth in this world, there is always some arrangement, especially when you turn your mind to Krishna. Immediately, Krishna will see that you are not in anxiety for your basic needs. So just worry about, how can I know these things, inquiries. Here, Sanaka Goswami, he had made many inquiries, And then Prabhupada is making here, what devotees have to be worried about is the dreadful material existence with birth and death, repetition. This is the most fearful, horrible thing in this world, such suffering. And devotees are more worried that I should do something to develop detachment from, or how to overcome my material desires, how to become detached from this material body, because this is not worth it, or this is not, I cannot be happy. When the body itself is deteriorating and we are getting old, why you are trying to make plans of this and that? So just be satisfied materially, whatever arrangements the Lord has given you, and you worry about your spiritual life, and then things, matters become more, because you immediately draw the attention of the Lord. When a human being begins to think, no, I don't want this material life anymore. So how can I attain freedom from repetition of birth and death? And you move in that direction, and things get slowly organized in your life. So this Suta Goswami, that as a human being, you are making the right inquiries instead of how to make this world without problems, how to develop comforts, People are planning and they want to. We joke. People are trying to make this world a heaven. There's already a place called heaven. You can go there. Why you want to make this world a heaven? You cannot make this. When this world is made to be like this. No? So just accept, and then you improve your consciousness, and things will also change because you are becoming eligible for better facilities in life. Okay, and 40. This we should all. This sloka is for memorization, so someone can recite, and others all will recite maybe 1 or 2 times, and then this and 43. They're very slokas with good text and purport, and in the Bhakti Vaibhava syllabus, this you have to memorize. So someone can volunteer to repeat this sloka, whoever is good in recitation, repeat, others will repeat behind. Who want to volunteer?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah, recite.
Idam Bhagavatam Nama.
Idam Bhagavat.
Bhagavatam.
We'll repeat one word after one line after the other. Yeah, repeat.
Okay. Idam Bhagavatam Nama.
Idam
Idam
Bhagavatam
Bhagavatam
Nama.
Nama.
Puranam Brahma Samhitam.
Puranam Brahma
Samhitam.
Samhitam.
Uttama Shloka Charitam.
Tamasloka Charitam.
Charitam.
Chakara Bhagavan Rishihi.
Chakara
Chakara
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Rishihi.
Rishi.
Nihashreyasaya Lokasya.
Nishreyasaya
Yasaya
Lokasya.
Lokasya.
Dhanyam Swastyayanam Mahat.
Dhanyam
Dhanyam
Sasayanam Mahat.
Swastyayan
One more
Mahat.
time. One more time.
Idam Bhagavatam Nama.
Idam
Idam
Bhagavatam
Bhagavatam
Nama.
Nama.
Puranam Brahma Samhitam.
Puranam
Puranam
Brahma
Brahma
Samhitam.
Samhitam.
Uttama Shloka Charitam.
Uttama
Uttama
Shloka
Shloka
Charitam.
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 Chakara Bhagavan Rishihi.
Chakara
Bhagavan
Bhagavan Rishihi.
Rishihi.
Nihashreyasaya Lokasya.
Nishreyasaya
Nishreyasaya
Lokasya.
Lokasya.
Dhanyam Swastyayanam Mahat.
Dhanyam
Dhanyam
Sasayanam
Swastyayanam
Mahat.
Mahat.
Translation.
Translation. This Srimad Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of God, and it is compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people, and it is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Purport. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu declared that Srimad Bhagavatam is the spotless, sound representation of all Vedic knowledge and history. There are selected histories of great devotees who are in direct contact with the personality of Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of Lord Sri Krishna and is therefore non-different from him. Srimad Bhagavatam should be worshipped as respectfully as we worship the Lord. Thereby, we can derive the ultimate blessings of the Lord through its careful and patient study. As God is all light, all bliss, and all perfection, so also is Srimad Bhagavatam. We can have all the transcendental light of the Supreme Brahman, Shri Krishna, from the recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam, provided it is received through the medium of the transparent spiritual master. Lord Chaitanya's private secretary, Srila Swarupa Damodara Goswami advised all intending visitors who came to see the Lord at Puri to make a study of the Bhagavatam from the Person Bhagavatam. Person Bhagavatam is the self-realized bona fide spiritual master, and through him only can one understand the lessons of Bhagavatam in order to receive the desired result. One can derive from the study of the Bhagavatam all benefits that are possible to be derived from the personal presence of the Lord. It carries with it all the transcendental blessings of Lord Shri Krishna that we can expect from his personal contact. Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Nitya Sakhi Mataji. Would you like to recite the shloka, Mataji, till Maharaj is back?
Text 40, is it?
Yes, Mataji.
Idam Bhagavatam Nama. Everyone must repeat, or you want me to recite it alone?
Yes, Mataji, we will follow.
Idam Bhagavatam Nama.
Idam Bhagavatam Nama.
Puranam Brahma Samhitam.
Puranam
Brahma Samhitam
Uttama Shloka Charitam.
Uttama Shloka Charitam
Chakara Bhagavan Rishihi.
Sakara
Bhagavan Rishi
Nishreyasaya Lokasya.
Nishreyasaya Logasya
Dhanyam Swastyayanam Mahat.
Dhanyam Gati Adyanam Mahat.
Vijay Suchitra
Mataji.
Mataji, do you want to
Thank you,
try?
Mataji. Hare Krishna. Anybody else would like to recite?
Yes, Mataji, shall I?
Please,
Vijay
Mataji.
Suchitra.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Text 40. Idam Bhagavatam Nama.
Idam Bhagavatam
Bhagavatam Nama
Puranam Brahma Samhitam.
Puranam Brahma Samhitam
Uttama Sloka Charitam.
Uttama Sloka Charitam
Yakara Bhagavan Rishihi.
Chakara
Jai
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Rishihi.
Rishi
Nishreyasaya Lokasya.
Nishreyasaya
Shreyasaya
Lokasya.
Lokasya
Dhanyam Swastayanam Mahat.
Dhanyam Bhakti Adyanam
Swastyayanam
Mahat.
Mahat.
Hare Krishna.
Did
Thank
we
you, Mataji.
complete reading translation purport?
Yes,
Maharaj.
Maharaj.
There is a break in the internet here today again.
Shall we repeat it,
So,
Maharaj?
yeah, you read once, no?
Yes, Maharaj. We read.
So, Bhagavatam is literary incarnation of God. Bhagavad Gita is preliminary study, and Bhagavatam, because when Vyasadeva wrote all the Vedic literature, and he was feeling something incomplete. He was not satisfied because the soul's longings, they are not sufficiently dealt with. And then whatever was his ability, Vyasadeva put all that in Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha and all that. And still he was feeling. And then Narada Muni appears and he says, until a living entity becomes a servant of Lord Sri Krishna, he cannot be in perpetual happiness. He cannot attain eternal life. He cannot go back to the kingdom of God. He cannot become free from repetition of birth and death. So then he empowers, Narada Muni empowers Vyasadeva to compile Srimad Bhagavatam. And then, so this Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of God. That is a description in our literature that Bhagavatam can be compared to a person. And there are 12 cantos of the Bhagavatam. And these cantos begin from bottom up, from the feet to the face and the head and the face of the Lord. That's how all these cantos can be described. So, which is true. And also we have read during our study that this we read previously that this Bhagavatam, as you read it, you begin to realize the person Krishna through the pages of the Bhagavatam. So this is literary incarnation of God. And also when we're reading about the incarnation of God, the Vyasadeva incarnation, which is considered one of the the partial literary potency of the Lord. The literary potency appeared as Vyasadeva. It is an incarnation of Krishna, but for a particular purpose. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of God. And also we have read many times so far that there is no difference between Krishna coming in front of you or Krishna being available in his name or Krishna's past tense and his devotees. It is available as book Bhagavatam, these things. In this material world, this is all the help we have to take in life. Because our mind, if it is not in contact with the transcendental subject matter, will fall back. The moment you stop chanting, the moment you stop reading Bhagavad Gita, your mind will again become filled with material thoughts. So we should know how to do, like in this material world, apparently we have to do many material activities to take care of the body. And Prabhupada says, if you are a devotee, your sleeping is also transcendental, your working is also it looks like, for others, it looks like business. But because you are living in this material world, you have to do some work to maintain the body. But your very purpose of existence, it is meant to serve the Lord in a spiritual form. So everything is spiritual. So that way, he can become a person Bhagavatam. And is compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God. So ultimate good of all the people. So this world, no matter what you do, this world will always be a troublesome place. But if you know how to utilize this material energy, how to utilize your bodily coverings, where this material body, this gross body and subtle body, your subtle. In the beginning we have read again this material creation. The first sloka we read in this chapter, the Lord's creation. And there we read, while reading Purusha Avataras, the idea of Lord creating this material existence to immature people, to neophytes, to give an opportunity to see if they can enjoy matter and be happy in material laws of nature. When they become experiencing, this material world is also an opportunity how you can faithfully engage your body, your mind, manasa.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj, we cannot hear you. I think you got muted.
When did go in for?
Just a few seconds back, Maharaj.
Okay. So, ultimate good. That means Prabhupada said ISKCON movement is the highest welfare activity because it is a spiritual movement. How to utilize our temporary, miserable material body for its highest goal. That is, you become a devotee of the Lord and become immune to the miseries of material existence. And when you leave the body, don't come back, go back to the kingdom. So this is the ultimate good. That means an administrator is not just a person who can fulfill your material needs. Roti kapda makan, they say. Roti kapda makan means food, clothing, and shelter. This is not just human life. Human life means these basic things, not in an exaggerated way, but make it simple and then concentrate or fully give your energies to attain spiritual life, So, Bhagavatam helps us how to attain transcendent. And it is all successful, all blissful, all perfect. That means you may not make it in this life, but once you walk in this path, opportunities will be repeatedly given to you. As Krishna promises in the 6th chapter, and the Yoga Brashta, you will be given. What is that sloka? It says, 6th chapter, in the last slokas, Arjuna, Ayati Sradayo Peto Yogaschalita Manasa, Aprapya Yoga Samsiddhim Kam Gati Krishna. The 3 Bhagavan Uvacha, Krishna says, Kam Gati Krishna Gashati. What is that sloka? Next, he says, Pardha Naiva Namutra, Vinata Satsi, Nai Kalyana Kutkashi, Durgatim Tata Gashati, Prapya Punya Krutam Lokam, he says. That means anyone who enters on this path, the path of most auspicious devotional service, and also in the 2nd chapter, Neha Bikarmana Swasti, Nityavayo, even you do little, you accepted prasadam and you chanted, just like that few times with the devotees. But it itself will create a sukriti and an asset for you, and it will further take you. So that's why it is said, it is all successful, all blissful, all perfect. It means without becoming a Bhagavata, without taking help of book Bhagavatam, we are not even made a beginning of our human life. Next, 41.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my obeisances. Translation. Srila Vyasadeva delivered it to his son, who is the most respected among the self-realized, after extracting the cream of all the Vedic literatures and histories of the universe. Purport. Since this is a lengthy one, can I pass in between the paragraphs, Maharaj?
Yeah, paragraph.
Men with a poor fund of knowledge only accept the history of the world from the time of Buddha, or since 600 BC, and prior to this period, all histories mentioned in the scriptures are calculated by them to be only imaginary stories. That is not a fact. All the stories mentioned in the Puranas and Mahabharata, etc., are actual histories, not only of this planet, but also of the millions of other planets within the universe. Sometimes the history of planets beyond this world appears to such men to be unbelievable, but they do not know that different planets are not equals in all respects, and that therefore some of the historical facts derived from other planets do not correspond with the existence of this planet. Considering the different situation of different planets and also time and circumstances, there is nothing wonderful in the stories of the Puranas, nor are they imaginary. We should always remember the maxim that one man's food is another man's poison. We should not therefore reject the stories and histories of the Puranas as imaginary. The great rishis like Vyasa had no business putting some imaginary stories in their literatures. First paragraph.
So in this paragraph, for this translation, Prabhupada is making the point, but because we are tiny human beings with a lifespan of maximum 100 years, and our recorded history is only 2000 years, so we should not consider the Vedic literature, which are from the beginning of the creation, like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, about Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says in the 4th chapter, Imam vivasate yogam proktavan vivasvan manave manuriksha. And this knowledge is existing from time immemorial. And there was not a time when this knowledge was not existing. It is always there. Sometimes it was corrupted and polluted, but it was there. And again, the Lord again is bringing this knowledge in its pristine form. So people with tiny intelligence, they try to discredit Vedic knowledge, but with a cool head. And if you examine that, and you see such, and Prabhupada is giving the logic, because I cannot live under the water. It's not that no one can live under the water. Because I cannot fly, but birds fly. So Prabhupada is one man's food is another man's poison. Like what hogs eat, we don't eat. What birds eat, we don't eat. So that means this world is relative. And we are talking about something absolute. We are talking about something transcendent. So obviously, we cannot penetrate this knowledge by our own efforts. That's why the Lord comes personally. The Lord arranges his representatives to be there. And any sincere person who is bewildered and is looking for guidance, certainly you don't have to look for a spiritual master. If you think that this world is not worth it, or it is bewildering and it is miserable, and what is to be done? If you have that kind of inquiries, like Sanatana Goswami, he told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who am I? Why am I having the threefold miseries? And what I'm supposed to do, things like that. It will come in the life of everybody. if you are a little conscientious person, what is this mechanical life, day after day after day, and it is a losing game. Then a touch, a spiritual person will come into your life, and then it ignites, and you see that there's a great hope by coming in contact with Bhagavatam. So the main point of this paragraph is that don't put aside Vedic literature as unbelievable things like that, because it is all relative. Because relativity is there, so compared to the happenings in this earthly planet, and you are hearing from Bhagavatam, which has narrations from many other planetary places, be a little patient, be a little cool, and give yourself time to go there, and then everything will be revealed. Next paragraph.
Continuing with the purport, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, historical facts selected from the histories of different planets have been depicted. It is therefore accepted by all the spiritual authorities as the Mahapurana. The special significance of these histories is that they are all connected with the activities of the Lord in a different time and atmosphere. Srila Sukadeva Goswami is the topmost personality of all the self-realized souls, and he accepted this as the subject of studies from his father, Vyasadeva. Srila Vyasadeva is the great authority and the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Being so important, he delivered the message first to his great son, Srila Sukadeva Goswami. It is compared to the cream of the milk. Vedic literature is like the milk ocean of knowledge. Cream or butter is the most palatable essence of milk. And so also is Srimad Bhagavatam, for it contains all palatable, instructive, and authentic versions of different activities of the Lord and his devotees. There is no gain, however, in accepting the message of Bhagavatam from the unbelievers, atheists, and professional reciters who make a trade of Bhagavatam for the layman. It was delivered to Srila Sukadeva Goswami, and he had nothing to do with the Bhagavata business. He did not have to maintain family expenses by such trade. Srimad Bhagavatam should therefore be received from the representative of Sukadeva, who must be in the renounced order of life, without family encumbrance. Milk is undoubtedly very good and nourishing, but when it is touched by the mouth of a snake, it is no longer nourishing. Rather, it becomes a source of death. Similarly, those who are not strictly in the Vaishnava discipline should not make a business of this Bhagavatam and become a cause of spiritual death for so many hearers. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that the purpose of all the Vedas is to know him, Lord Krishna, and Srimad Bhagavatam is Lord Sri Krishna himself in the form of recorded knowledge. Therefore, it is the cream of all the Vedas, and it contains all historical facts of all times in relation with Sri Krishna. It is factually the essence of all histories. Hare Krishna.
So, the points here, Bhagavatam is not some book for entertainment. Bhagavatam is not just a book for reading it and making your speculations. That's why he's saying you have to hear it from a renounced person, one who has simplified his life. Just this is what basically I need. Remaining time, I want to make my life successful by attempting God realization. So, and then Vedic knowledge is both material and spiritual, and ultimately, unless you get self-realization, our life is not complete. So that way, the Bhagavatam is cream. The Vedic knowledge is very extensive, and it is all things. But while you may learn things that are of use, you essentially have to learn spiritual knowledge also. We may need, no, we need both material, like we're using computer or we're using a mic or we're riding a bike. You learn it for your utility, but that is only useful to some extent. But life is not complete without understanding yourself and your relation. So Prabhupada is saying, is comparing, if Vedic knowledge is like milk and the butter or cream, that is the best part of the milk. So spiritual life, people are also doing many devices and gadgets without touching Vedas. So that way they are also giving some material comforts, but they are not happy with that. So that means we have to come to this Krishna consciousness, which is called spiritual life, our real life. Until we come to real life, we cannot discard our material life. As you progress in spiritual life, you dismantle, you give up all the unnecessary things. And second thing is saying we should not fool people, or we should not make a business out of Bhagavatam. We just talk things without any practices, or you talk things like you tell people the stories of. That is not the idea. You can tell the story of Dromara, the story of Ambarish. It's okay. But if you believe in them, if you understand them, you should be a living Bhagavata. So Prabhupada is one who is coming to Bhagavatam. You may get little things, money, appreciation, and that, by using Bhagavatam and trying to impress others. But the real thing is, have you entered spiritual life? And if you enter spiritual life, you are also very careful, you are also very particular to see that what is to be learned from the pages of Bhagavad, how to become a Bhagavata yourself. So when we hear Bhagavatam from a person Bhagavata, you will make sure that you become a practitioner, not just a data collector of Bhagavatam, Next. 42.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Translation purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sukadeva Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, in his return delivered the Bhagavatam to the great emperor Parikshit, who sat surrounded by sages on the bank of Ganges, awaiting death without taking food or drink. All transcendental messages are received properly in the chain of disciplic succession. The disciplic succession is called parampara. Unless, therefore, Bhagavatam or any other Vedic literatures are received through the parampara system, the reception of knowledge is not a bona fide. Vyasadeva delivered the message to Sukadev Goswami, and from Sukadev Goswami, Sutta Goswami received the message. One should therefore receive the message of Bhagavatam from Sutta Goswamis or from his representative and not from any irrelevant interpreter. Emperor Parikshit received the information of his death in time, and he at once left his kingdom and family and sat down on the bank of the Ganges to fast till death. All great sages, rishis, philosophers, mystics, etc. went there due to his imperial position. They offered many suggestions about his immediate duty, and at last it was settled that he would hear from Sukadev Goswami about Lord Krishna. Thus, Bhagavatam spoken to him.
So the one point of this paragraph is talking about listening from a person from the parampara, from a bona fide parampara. The reason is the person in the bona fide parampara, he will make sure that his listeners, they also come to this essence. And they also practice this in their day-to-day life. Suppose you are all attending my class and you just hear and don't practice, I may not be interested to take class. It's not just I would waste my time by just talking these things. But because you also want to practice in your daily life, you want to do kirtan, you want to do your japam, you want to nicely, serve the deity form of the Lord, and then you also get the same taste or relish, that's important. So a Bhagavata is not interested. There's a story from the life of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. They said some Kasim Bazar king. The Kasim Bazar is a place where there's a big landlord. And he heard about how this Gaur Kishore Babaji is a Siddha. That means whatever he wants, it will happen, and whatever he says, it will happen. And people are attracted to his purity. And so he wanted to impress him. He said, "That's Babaji Maharaj, I will arrange a big program for you. You do Bhagavad Gita there." And Gaur Kishore Das Babaji could see through the heart of this fellow that he is just trying to promote himself. That he is spending money. This Kasim Bazar landlord is in such a big program. He's not interested to learn it himself. Yes, so what did Gaur Kishore Das Babaji say? Don't worry about your big program, Pandal program for others and all that. First you sit down here. You sit down here and you listen. When you relish it, then you know that how to give it to others. Don't make it like this thing. Bhagavatam, a professional thing. Nobody is interested. People just coming because this landlord is inviting people have to come, and but people have no interest. So, and also Babaji Maharaj wanted to drive the point. First, you should know what is the beauty, what is the bliss of reading Bhagavatam, and then you really, why you should promote Bhagavatam in the public and in what way. So it is what is said in this next, the second paragraph.
Sripada Sankaracharya, who preached Mayavada philosophy and stressed the impersonal feature of the Absolute, also recommended that one must take shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, for there is no hope of gain from debating. Indirectly, Sripada Sankaracharya admitted that what he had preached in the flowery grammatical interpretations of the Vedanta Sutra cannot help one at the time of death. At the critical hour of death, one must recite the name of Govinda. It is the recommendation of all great transcendentalists. Sukadeva Goswami had long ago stated the same truth, that at the end, one must remember Narayana. That is the essence of all spiritual activities. In pursuance of this eternal truth, Srimad Bhagavatam was heard by Emperor Parikshit, and it was recited by the able Sukadeva Goswami. And both the speaker and the receiver of the message of Bhagavatam were duly delivered by the same medium. Hare Krishna.
So here Prabhupada is clarifying about Sankaracharya. Sankaracharya, although he promoted impersonalism or Advaitavada, but he was not an unauthorized person. Because he is the agent of the Lord himself, Lord Shiva, coming as Sankaracharya. So it was for a purpose, like Buddha. At that particular time, to those particular people, to bring them back to the fold of Vedic followers, to bring them back to the fold of the Dharma. At that time, but he himself, like Prabhupada is saying here, although he has written many books on Advaita philosophy, how there is no distinction between Jiva and Bhagavan, or everything is one, like that. But actually, among all that, the last work he did was Bhaja Govindam. That's what Prabhupada is quoting here, that all this word regularly and scholarship and this philosophy, that philosophy, and that doesn't really help you at the time of death. But chanting the names of Govinda, and that can take you to better birth, or that can deliver you. And that is actually the essence. And Prabhupada said in Bhagavatam also there is sloka, Antya Narayana Smriti, that sloka comes in. So, Adi Shankara should not be quoted out of context, or he should not be misunderstood, because at that particular time, that was necessary to convert Buddhists who are saying everything is sunya, back to everything is one, spiritual. And from there, the further development of the Achintya Veda, Sanatana Dharma. 43, this also, this sloka, we will recite twice. This is also for memorization and also an important sloka. So someone can read it, and we will all repeat behind.
Okay, Maharaj. Krishna swadamo pagati dharma vidi saha kalunastam drishnam esha puranarko adunodita.
Krishna, read everybody. Krishna Sudama Pagate Dharma Jnana Kalau
Nashta Yesha Purnartho Adunodita.
One more time.
Krishna
Swadama Pagate Dharma Jnana
Bhagati
Kalau
Krishna
Nashtanam
Yesha
Purnartho
Adunodita.
Puranako Dunodita.
It's a beautiful sloka, and we should memorize that. You can read the translation, Papa.
This Bhagavata Purana is as brilliant as the sun, and it is arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shed get light from this Purana. Purport: Lord Sri Krishna as his eternal Dharma or abode where he eternally enjoys himself with his eternal associates and paraphernalia, and his eternal abode is a manifestation of his internal energy, whereas the material world is a manifestation of his external energy. When he descends on the material world, he displays himself with all paraphernalia in his internal potency, which is called Atma Maya. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that he descends by his own potency, Atma Maya. His form, name, fame, paraphernalia, abode, etc. are not, therefore, creation of matter. He descends to reclaim the fallen souls and to re-establish forms of religion which are directly enacted by him. Except for God, no one can establish the principles of religion. Either he or suitable person empowered by him can dictate the codes of religion. Real religion means to know God, our relation with him and our duties in relation with him, and to know ultimately our destination after leaving this material body. The conditioned souls who are entrapped by the material energy hardly know all these principles of life. Most of them are like animals engaged in eating, sleeping, faring, and mating. They are mostly engaged in sense enjoyment under the pretension of religiosity, knowledge, or salvation. They are still more blind into present age of coral or Kali Yuga. In the Kali Yuga, the population is just a royal addition of the animals. They have nothing to do with spiritual knowledge or godly religious life. They are so blind that they cannot see anything beyond the jurisdiction of the subtle mind, intelligence, or ego, but they are very much proud of their advancement in knowledge, science, and material prosperity. They can risk their lives to become a dog or hawk just after leaving the present body, for they have completely lost sight of the ultimate aim of life. The personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, appeared before us just a little prior to the beginning of Kali Yuga, and he returned to his eternal home practically at the commencement of Kali Yuga. While he was present, he exhibited everything by his different activities. He spoke the Bhagavad Gita specifically and eradicated all pretentious principle of religiosity. And prior to his departure from this material world, he empowered Sri Vyasadeva through Narada to compile the message of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and thus both the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam are like torchbearers of the blind people of this age. In other words, of men, if men in this age of Kali want to see the real light of life, they must take to these two books only, and their aim of life will be fulfilled. Bhagavad Gita is the preliminary study of this Bhagavatam, and Srimad Bhagavatam is the summum bonum of life, Lord Sri Krishna personified. We must therefore accept Srimad Bhagavatam as a direct representation of Lord Krishna. One can see Srimad Bhagavatam, can see also Lord Sri Krishna in person. They are identical. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
So the point is, once you come to read Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, such devotees are not interested to read other books because Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, they completely focus on your relationship with the Lord. What other literatures you have to read, which talk about other things, they are only distractions in our life. So people who don't know, they may read books like that, but they will not satisfy the hankerings of the soul. So Prabhupada is saying, if you don't know, you read these two books. And if you're reading these two books, you will voluntarily avoid reading all unnecessary literature because they don't feed the soul. They don't nourish the soul. One thing. And Prabhupada is making a very succinct statement. Real religion means to know God. Our relationship with Him spiritually. I am a spirit soul, our relation with the Supreme Spirit or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When we say Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, people who accept Krishna, they already know that the Lord is there as Paramatma with every soul. They know that the Lord's energies are present everywhere. When you accept Krishna, these two features, the Brahman and the Paramatma realization, the people who have not come to accept Krishna, they think worshipping the deity is sentimental or believing that God has a form. They think like that. But we know where they stand, but they cannot understand the devotees. Because accepting Bhagavan Krishna is the complete realization. Some people are fortunate to meet devotees and start chanting Hare Krishna. The whole mysterious philosophy becomes so simple and easy. But because it is so simple and easy, we should not take it lightly. Go day after day and nicely until you realize it. Realize means you realize your eternal blissful form. And then you become indifferent to material gains and loss, and then become steady in your devotional path. So proper real religion, and this is in Kali Yuga, unfortunately, 99% of the population. So they're all like on speculative or sense gratificatory way of life. So Prabhupada is condemning them by calling a royal edition of animal life, because with all their hi-fi things, what they are doing in life. Like we have so many facilities, but what is happening? No spiritual life. And it said there's a great risk. If people don't come to Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, there's a big risk that we will become lose the opportunity to take human birth again, because we have not done anything that makes us eligible to take birth as a human being again. No? Next. This is the last sloka. Please read.
Tat Tatra Kitayato
You can read the
Vipra.
translation and purport.
Okay, Maharaj. O learned Brahmanas, when Sukadeva Goswami recited Srimad Bhagavatam there, in the presence of Emperor Parikshit, I heard him with rapt attention, and thus, by his mercy, I learned the Bhagavatam from that great and powerful sage. Now I shall try to make you hear the very same thing as I learned it from him as I have realized it. Purport. One can certainly see directly the presence of Lord Sri Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam if one has heard it from the self-realized great soul like Sukadeva Goswami. One cannot, however, learn Bhagavatam from a bogus hired reciter. Those aim of life is to earn some money out of such recitation and employ the earning in sex indulgence. No one can learn Srimad Bhagavatam who is associated with persons engaged in sex life. That is the secret of learning Bhagavatam. Nor can one learn Bhagavatam from one who interprets the next by his mundane scholarships. One has to learn Bhagavatam from the representative of Sukadeva Goswami and no one else. If one at all wants to see Lord Sri Krishna in the pages, that is the process. And there is no alternative. Sutta Goswami is a bona fide representative of Sukadeva Goswami because he wants to present the message which he received from the great learned Brahmana. Sukadeva Goswami presented Bhagavatam as he heard it from his great father. And so also Sutta Goswami is presenting Bhagavatam as he had heard it from Sukadeva Goswami. Simple hearing is not all. One must realize the text with proper attention. The word nivista means that Sri Sutta Goswami drank the juice of Bhagavatam through his ears. That is the real process of receiving Bhagavatam. One should hear with rapt attention from the real person, and then he can at once realize the presence of Lord Krishna in every page. The secret of knowing Bhagavatam is mentioned here. No one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. No one can be pure in mind who is not pure in action. No one can be pure in action who is not pure in eating, sleeping, fearing, and making. But someone or other, if someone hears with rapt attention from the right person, at the very beginning, one can assuredly see Lord Krishna in person in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada ki. Okay, Maharaj, thank you.
So the point here is that it is not just buying any Bhagavatam book. There are many people who have presented Bhagavatam. And also, it is not that you hear Bhagavatam from anybody. You know, we read before, a milk touched by the serpent. Milk is good. The Bhagavatam is great. But the commentator, the person who is reciting the Bhagavatam, if he is not a Bhagavata himself, so Prabhupada is especially making that spiritual life means we are attempting to give unnecessary sex life. Prabhupada is boldly making a statement. Spiritual life means, if you realize, that means you have to follow all central rules. It is not suppression. When you say no sex life, it is not suppression. It is sublimation. That means people have to go through these rules and regulations, like getting up in the morning, eating only prasadam, and chanting prescribed number of rounds, and slowly we can overcome this unnecessary sensual indulgence. So Bhagavatam means one should give up sense gratification, and the highest sense gratification is the sexual. Like Prabhupada says that if you are a grihastha and you want children, and that is according to the laws of like dharma viruddha kamasmi bhartarshava Krishna says. That means the provision is there. You can bring good children into this world, and otherwise you are living a regulated life. Still you are Bhagavad. It's not that grihastha have to be misunderstood by this case. These are fallen people. You may have 10 children like Bhakti Thakur, no problem. You can bring 10 children into this world and train them to become devotees. So do everything responsibly. Follow the material laws of nature and don't violate the instructions of the God. That way, you can be a devotee properly. That way, in any case, a devotee is controlled in his body and mind. A devotee, Bhagavad Gita gives the example of tortoise. Tortoise, when it sees the danger, it withdraws its soft limbs inside when the danger is not there. So similarly, devotees, when it is sense gratification, they will say, no, I don't want to eat what is not prasadam. And then when it is prasadam, they will like that. Devotees, they see that everything has connection with Krishna or not. So this way, sense gratification and spiritual life cannot go together. And reading Bhagavatam not for purification is simply waste of time. Hearing Bhagavatam from an unauthorized person, like in the TV, we get to hear they don't have any kirtan, they don't have any regulations, but they're professional reciters. Don't waste your time, because you will not be getting the point that you should worship Krishna, nor you are attracted to the point that you should chant Hare Krishna, saving your time, and you should set aside time to chant Hare Krishna. Because they will not talk, but they will just start tell you the story. But real spirit is lost. This is the point, this last sloka I said. You hear Bhagavatam from someone who is a devotee of Krishna, who is following all these rules and regulations, and you just don't hear and hear Bhagavatam, stop it there. You should also practice these rules and regulations, and then you get a taste, and then you know how to meaningfully, how to successfully spend your life, so that at the end of your life you can attain the lotus feet of the Lord and go back to back to Godhead. So I thank you all for engaging me to spend time with you and reading these pages of Bhagavatam of Srila Prabhupada. If there are any comments or no, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Hare
Maharaj,
Krishna.
for the wonderful journey.
Thank you, Maharaj, for your wonderful session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We'll close it here now by reciting Hare Krishna mantra one time. We'll all together say
Yes.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Krishna. Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Standard pronouns.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji's.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Would anybody like to discuss about the open book assessment?
When Mataji?
Open book assessment. Anybody would like to share how to write anything like that?
Open book assessment is the essay question, right, Mataji?
First question.
You mean the essay question that we have to write 600 to 800 words?
Yes.
Mataji, what is the OBA?
Open book
Open book assessment.
essay.
Another one, open book assessment. Another one.
Mataji Prabhuji, Guru Maharaj left or what? Did your classes got over?
Yeah,
Yes,
finished.
Mataji.
Oh my goodness, I was thinking have to attend the end of the session. Okay. Hare Krishna. Mataji, I think this is the first time I'm seeing Mataji, Uma Lakshmi Mataji.
No, actually my phone has got some connectivity problem. So I'm using my mother's phone to join this class.
Okay. From when onwards you're attending the session?
Since March 16, I think, yes.
Mataji, your good name?
Vijay Suchitra Devidas.
Okay. You was there in the Dam, right? Okay, Mataji. I
Right.
was thinking new name. Today I was surprised to see you and Prabhu also, because earlier it was in a different form, Petana. So today I was seeing surprised with Sakshi Prabhu also. First time I'm seeing without this thing. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Okay. Do you have any queries or something like that? OBA means open
Mataji,
book assessment. Yeah, please tell
okay,
me.
all the question must be emailed to you, is it? Email to Vaibhava Karasi. There's
I'm not getting.
all the question. Okay, all the question, we answering the question. We must do the email to you, is it? Email. Use the email.
Email, not that email ID I have shared already. IISE
Okay.
BB English that I have shared. Kindly send your thing to this one email, okay? And if you could type and then send it also, okay. If you're typing and then sending also, okay, no problem. Few Mataji said that they have typed and then sent it, no issue. If you have acquainted with only handwritten, it's okay. You can write it, take a photo, compile it with the PDF, and then you can send it. Okay, Prabhu?
Okay.
Any other queries? Any other queries?
Nothing else, Mataji. After this, we are focused on all the question, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhu. Prabhu accepted to give one orientations regarding this open book assessment. So he will come and teach you. Few have got queries. Usually we are doing in the Bhakti Shastri. So with that only there is no need of any explanation, but you're all from different institute, right? So Prabhu said, I'll come and take one session. I requested him. Now he's little busy. Once he free, then definitely I will put a message in the group. He will be addressing. And you can ask all the queries if you have anything. And if at all, the videos, you can close your eyes and then tell the 2 shloka with the translation, record that video, and if possible, you send it with the telegram number also I have sent. Few have suggested like we will put it in the Google Drive and then send the drive link like that. Whichever is possible, you can do it. Yeah, tell me, Prabhu, tell me.
Mataji, this part I don't understand. This part, we must close the eye, then we start to explain the 1 slokas.
Yes, otherwise you will see no screen, you will see and then tell no.
Telegram under which name, Mataji? Because just now I go under
my number, same number, 70. Yeah.
Mataji,
you can type that number.
Again you share, Mataji, again you share me your number. Again you share later. You share the number. I because the day I was trying to connect, but I couldn't make it. Maybe I don't know or what. I don't know. Maybe I will ask my son to connect. But anyhow, you send because whatever currency, I don't know who's the person. Sometimes I got to connect.
That is my number.
That's your number, but you are the whatever currency, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, Mataji. Okay, Mataji. I try to connect you through your number, Mataji. But anyhow, you share your number again, Mataji.
But what is your number, Prabhu? You tell me.
019 725 9916.
Sorry, 0197
019 275 275 9916. Correct, Mataji?
9916. No, I'm not getting your these things in the this one Telegram. Might be because of your code number is different or something like that. I'll do one thing, Prabhu. I'll just send my number so you can send it in that only. Same number only.
Just go
Okay, what do you
into
correct?
just go into the search and get your number, the link, then just accept. Only that, is it, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Then okay, should be okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Any
Mataji.
other queries? Do anybody is having any query? Okay. Can I end the session?
Okay, can, Mataji.
You all can have your own students group, and you can create your own Zoom ID or a Google link, and you can discuss on the open book assessment. That is very essential, Sadhu Sangha, right? So don't use this. This is official ID, so don't use this official Zoom ID. You can create your own Zoom ID with the 40 minutes free access, and Google Drive link also you can do it. Okay, this is official things. Please don't use it.
Okay, Mataji. Sure.
Okay, can
thank
I
you.
end the session?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Deva Devadasa Prabhu, Hare Krishna. There is power cut or what in your place? Power cut? No, you are muted. We are not able to listen.
He's, I think, he's living in the farm, Mataji. So I think power cut, I think.
Okay.
Okay, Mataji. Haribol.
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय जगतगुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय नित्य गौरव प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल हरे कृष्ण. Okay, I'm ending the session. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.